Good morning, everybody. My name's Dennis Smith. I'm the president of the Warren County War Memorial Corporation. The Warren County War Memorial Corporation consists of volunteers that help not only erect this back in 1998, but maintain it yet today. We think it's one of the most beautiful places here in Warren County. We do this program every year. This is the 15th year, 16th program that we put out with the help of the freeholders and the Warren County War Memorial Corporation. We were able to honor wartime veterans here in Warren County. So with that, I'd like to call up my Boy Scouts from Troop 146 in White Township to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you. Please stay standing while Caleb Dean, sorry about that.
It's a little slow on that one.
Come on, the time.
He wanted to get that.
Caleb Dean's gonna lead us in the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good job, now you can be seated.
Hello, my name's Charlie Barabbas. I was in the Marine Corps 1961 to 65. The best thing I ever did. I was stationed in Lejeune. I saw President Kennedy, he inspected us, and then I was from there I went to the Caribbean on a Boxer helicopter carrier on the missile crisis. Then I went to the Med, and then I came back and I went to Fuji, Japan. I was there as an MP. They changed me all around. And then from there I went to Quantico, and I was a photographer. So I went through everything. But I thank the Marine Corps for what they did for me to make me a man that I am. And I thank my brother-in-law, John Kelly, for setting this up. I didn't know anything about it. And I want to thank everybody, and God bless everybody, and God bless America.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank some people that helped put this together. I'd like to thank Jay. These are the people that are on my committee with the War Memorial. Jay Richards, my vice president. Millie Rice, our secretary treasurer. And our trustees are Leo Becker, John Coyle, Douglas Drunn, John Hawk, Rich Larson, Ernie Mesa, and Charlie Prestopine. We couldn't possibly put this on without the efforts of the Warren County Public Information Department, which is headed by Director Art Charlton. Art, he's over there. Holly Lamberto is Deputy Director, and Brittany's here with us in the back there. She signs in. Thanks to all of you for your help. I'd like to call on Charlie Prestopine for an invocation.
Let us pray. O God of nations and of men, we pause at the onset of this gathering to acknowledge together thy sovereignty over our lives. Grant that it shall be no idle gesture, no mere salute to tradition, dictated by custom, but that in all sincerity, in keeping with the spirit and intent of this ceremony, dedicated to God and service to country, we shall seek to know and to do thy will. We pray with the desire to serve our community in such a way as to ensure freedom, further justice, and encourage democracy. Keep forever fresh in our memories the sacrifices made in other years and other circumstances by our fellow veterans to preserve that which is noblest and best in America. Grant us courage in defeat, kindness in victory, and understanding always that to this end we salute thee as Lord and pledge our best. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Amen.
Hi, my name is Butch Meilinger. Grew up in Phillipsburg, New Jersey, graduated from Phillipsburg High School in 1965. Joined the Marine Corps in 1966. Was in Vietnam, September through January, 66, 67. Was with the 3rd Marine Division, I Company, 3-9. I was a designated marksman. And I lasted about 4 months. Got hit severely, spent 5.5 months Philadelphia Naval Hospital, but I'm here today. I think this is a wonderful thing that's happening here. Recognition for veterans from all over. So I surely appreciate it. I'm here with 5 or 6 other guys that I know, remembered from back school, and they're all expressing their gratitude. Haven't lived in the state since I left in '66, and just want to say thanks.
I got to take a couple of seconds here and tell you that we probably have the best freeholder director board anywhere when it comes to veterans. The men you see sitting here before you, some of them have been here since the inception, back in '92. Some of them are brand new. They're always here, always. And I thank you, and give them a round of applause. As all of us, We probably had other places we could go today or whatever. Hey, we chose to be here. Thank everybody for coming too. With that, I'd like to call up Freeholder Director Jason Sarnowski to say a few words, and I told him I didn't have the right page.
I have it.
You got it?
I got it. Don't worry,
Okay.
I'm ahead of you.
All right. Good.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much, Dennis. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome. How are you all today? So, today is proof that God loves his veterans, because I think it is, right? It has rained this whole weekend. It's going to rain the rest of the weekend, but right now it's nice and clear. As my son told me today, welcome and good morning and happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. I think it's the only war that's not represented here today, unless are there any Skywalkers in the audience? No? Okay. This is our 16th public ceremony. Today, a total of 24 veterans will be honored, one of them posthumously, in the ceremony. All will receive our Distinguished Military Service Medal, a replica lapel pin, and a certificate of recognition. A total of 18 veterans or loved ones are here today and have signed up to attend the ceremony. This will bring our total to 2,197 veterans, war-era veterans who have been recognized since the program began in 2003, with an award to Julius Household, who was 108 at the time and was the last surviving World War I soldier at the time. Today, the branches of the service that are represented are 5 from the Army, 9 from our Navy, 6 from our Air Force, and 4 Marines. The wars that are represented here, we have 1 person from World War II, Mr. Giegel here in the front. We have 1 represented from Korea, 18 from Vietnam, 3 from our Iraq conflicts, and 1 from Afghanistan. And don't tell Millie, but from what I hear, this is the first year we don't have any women who signed up to receive the medal. So, sorry about that, Millie. But Warren County, I thank Dennis for his kind words about the freeholder, but it's truly our honor to be here today and to be able to present you with this award. We want to honor all of our veterans, and we will not stop until all of them are honored who came from or reside here in Warren County. So thank you very much for the honor and privilege of being here today to meet all you and to honor you, and I wish you a beautiful and blessed day. Thank you.
I'd now like to call on Deputy Director Richard Gardner to say a few words.
Thank you, Dennis. You know, Freeholder Director, I thought it was because of Art Charlton sent a memo to Mother Earth that we have a clear day for today. I want to begin, and I want to thank the War Memorial Corporation for their steadfast efforts here and undying efforts to work and make this a beautiful place here in front of our #1 building, the Warren County Courthouse. And I've been here for all of the ceremonies except one. I was on a trip out west, and we deeply feel a commitment to recognize our veterans in the county. And so if you know of a veteran out there who's not received the award, please let them know that we want to celebrate their service to our country. So, you know, I just want to say it is a great day. I do get a little concerned when I see some of the elected officials we have in Congress today, and I think that they do not appreciate the significance sometimes of our military. And what we have is a free constitutional republic in the United States of America. The military knows that full well, but our elected officials sometimes, I think, forget that or ignore it, and they better remember our democracy would never last if it's not for the military. So with that, I am delighted to be here. And the name Julius Household will always be remembered by me because I gave him his certificate and pin and medal that day. And 108 on that very day. Served in World War I and World War II. And he still would acknowledge certain questions, so that was quite remarkable. So hats off to all our veterans, and we thank you for your service. Thanks.
Now a few words from our newest elected freeholder, Mr. Kearns.
Yeah, I have the distinct privilege of being the new guy for the next, I don't even know how long, but I'm the new guy. And this is my first veterans event as a freeholder, and it truly is a humbling and honored experience for me to be here with you all today. I also want to thank the War Memorial Corporation. If you come up here any day during the week throughout the year, you'll see this area is well kept, maintained, and is a beautiful place in Warren County. And it's so nice when you see people here sitting by themselves, reflecting, and that's done by the volunteers who make this available. So again, I just want to thank you all for all the work that you do during Warren County. I myself am not a veteran, but my brother recently was honorably discharged from the Marine Corps, and it was a very eye-opening experience when I went down to see him graduate from Parris Island, because you see I would call it a PG version of some of the training that goes on there that they put on for us civilians, because I know they're not showing us what really happens there. But before they brought the recruits in for graduation, the drill instructor came up to the families and said to us, you know, we put them through a lot. They're going to tell you things that they had to do, but the reason we do it is so that we don't have to bring your son or daughter back in a body bag. And that moment really hit home to me, because you knew at that moment, I don't know where my brother was going to be going, but you knew that he had signed up to go wherever his leaders would send him. And I think that speaks to the bravery of everyone in this group today, because you didn't know where you were going to go, but when you put on that uniform, you were putting your country first. So for that, I'm thankful, and thankful every day for all you've done for our country. So thank you so much, and have a great day.
This next speaker has been a real friend to us over the years. I'd like to call up Senator Mike Doherty. Mike.
Thanks, Dennis. Thank you, sir. Thanks, Dennis, and all the great things that you do. You know, one of the freeholders talked about having the country together. Right? Was that you, Rick? Okay. And it's really true. I was telling Assemblyman DeMail last night. I was watching a video. I'll keep it real short. And I'm not really into rock and roll, but it was Leonard Skinner, you know, Sweet Home Alabama, and Freebird, right? Millie likes that. And it was shocking. This was 1977, and they had all these, you know, crazy rockers at this baseball stadium in Oakland, and up on the bandstand, behind the band was a big picture of George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, at a rock concert. And it was a Southern band, so it was a Confederate flag, and I looked at the crowd, and everybody was clapping their hands, and they were all together. And I was just thinking, boy, we have some problems today, because could you imagine going to a rock concert, see Thomas Jefferson and George Washington up on the bandstand? So it got me thinking that there's a saying that if you know God, K-N-O-W, you'll know peace, and if you have no God, you'll have no peace, right? N-O. So maybe we should pray a little bit more and turn back towards God, because our country is not very peaceful. And if you look, and if you read the Old Testament, whenever the Israel turned their back on God, they had a lot of trouble. They had war, and so maybe it's time we spend on our knees a little bit more. I'm really honored to be here, so that's my little story. I hope our country can get together because we have been in the past, right? I would like to thank the Veterans Committee. They're here every year, all the time, every day it seems like. Dennis and his crew doing a fantastic job, and they've committed a lot to our county, and they're doing a great job. And even though some of them are retired, a couple of them, right, Judge Coyle, they continue to make an effort. And we have a great freeholder board with Jason Zarnowski and Richard Gardner and Jim Kern. And but most importantly, we're here to recognize the veterans who served our country and did something bigger than themselves. I think we all have fond memories of serving in the military. We like to complain about some of the stuff, you know, bad coffee and this, that, and the other thing. But at the end of the day, we're all really happy we served in the military. It's something that binds us together, and it's something that binds our country together. And I would just like to thank the men and women who are receiving the award today. Thank you for your service, and God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker will be Assemblyman John DeMeo from the 23rd Legislative District. John's always here too.
Before I start, I have to pull this down because everybody else is pulling. I would be remiss if we didn't mention that it was Senator Doherty, as a member of the Freeholder Board, who pushed this program forward and made it a reality by his resolution. So, and I don't believe we've missed one, have we? And of course, thank you to the War Memorial Corporation members. Good to see you, Millie and Charlie and Leo and John Hawk and the judge. So the work you do is very important to keep this mission going. You know, we all hope for a day where we don't have veterans that have served in any kind of war in the future. Hopefully the world can get to that, but it's just a terrible place. Things have changed. The interests around the world are probably more dangerous than ever, but we still pray that we don't have conflict. We're here, no matter where you served or how you served, or what branch you served, to make sure you understand how very important your service is to this country. So we take this time to give you a medal and thank you for your service and wish you Godspeed in your lives, because if it were not for you, we're not elected and allowed to go to Trenton or to Belvedere and make decisions because of us. We're here because you've protected that right. So I just want to let you know how very, very much I appreciate that on a personal note, and thank you for your service. Thank you so much.
Our next speaker is going to be Eric Peterson from the 23rd Legislative District.
Well, good morning, everyone. Yeah, John's challenged with height. Jason, I think not only does God love Warren County's veterans, but I think Warren County loves their veterans. And that's something to be proud of. You know, in the United States, we cherish freedom. We cherish it so much that you hear people say things, it's my God-given right, it's my constitutional right, because we've enshrined freedom and guaranteed it in our federal and our state constitutions. And our country has embraced freedom of the individual freedom, that we've become a beacon of freedom throughout the world. And that freedom we protect it around the world, and we promote it around the world. But not every country believes in freedom of the individual. Places like Russia, China, North Korea, Cuba, Venezuela. And because of that, they would like to take away our freedom and have total control over us and the rest of the world. And if it wasn't for our veterans are the only thing between us and losing our freedom. And today, I'm grateful for your service to our country. I'm grateful for protecting freedom. I'm grateful that you stood up and protected freedom. You're freedom fighters, each and every one of you. So I'm glad that the Warren County War Memorial Corporation and the freeholders are holding this ceremony to have a small way for Warren County and for each of us to thank you for standing up for freedom. Thank you.
Mr. Sibley Smith is our Veteran Service Officer, state, right? State Service Officer, so if you need your DD 214 medals that you haven't received, lost or whatever, you go see Sibley. He's up at the old Hagedorn Hospital, place we call Veterans Haven North now, and it's a little bit easier for the guys in Hunterdon because we share Sibley with Hunterdon County as their service officer too. So used to be up on Route 57 in the Armory. He's a little bit closer to them now, a little bit further for us, but we'll manage. Come on up, sir.
Thanks, Dennis. Good morning. It is an honor for me to be a part of this 16th annual Veterans Recognition Program for Warren County, here at the Warren County War Memorial. My name is Sibley Judson Smith, Jr. I am the grateful son of a veteran, Sibley Judson Smith, Sr., storekeeper, chief petty officer, retired, United States Navy. He is no longer with us, but I try my best to carry on his name with its association to service to our country through my role as a Veterans Service Officer for the State of New Jersey Department of Military and Veterans Affairs, Division of Veterans Services, assigned to Hunterdon County and to our own Warren County. So what exactly do I do? Well, my specialty is employing my research and grant writing skills to assist New Jersey veterans and their family members in securing from the United States Department of Veterans Affairs, the New Jersey Department of Military and Veterans Affairs, such benefits as financial compensation for disabilities caused or incurred in active duty military service, financial assistance for certain low-income veterans through VA pension, medical care, and benefits assisting a deceased veteran's survivors. This is work I am proud of, as daily I do my part to show recognition and appreciation of our country's veterans of the armed forces. I'm presently stationed, as Dennis said, just across the Warren County border, south off Route 31 in Glen Gardner, in the renovated Veterans Haven North, New Jersey's transitional housing facility for homeless veterans. My business cards are in a little box on the receptionist table on the corner of the street there. And if veterans or their family members need assistance or just wish to find out what benefits they may qualify for, I'm at your service. And speaking of service, to all active duty and veteran service members here, I sincerely thank you for your service to our country and to our county of Warren. Thank you. Enjoy your day. You well deserve it.
My name is Arnie Solomon. I was in Vietnam in 1968, 1969, stationed with the 4th Infantry Division. I was executive officer for Company A, Supply and Transport Battalion, up in the Pleiku area. And my job was to reinforce infantry troops with ammunition, gasoline, food. And when I wasn't doing that, I would run patrols, either, one-day patrols, 5-day patrols. And it was tough, but, it was also a very rewarding experience. And I just want to say thank you to all the guys that served in Vietnam. A special thank you to the men that I was with, men that I lost, and I love them dearly. And I want to say thank you for allowing me to participate in this program today. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
We'll now have a medley. Yes, that's what it is. Of the service songs. When your service song is played, please stand to be recognized. United States Marine Corps. United States Navy. The Army. United States Coast Guard. United States Air Force. Thank you all. I'd like to call on Millie Rice to come up and tell us the story of the red poppy we used.
National Poppy Day may still be a new day of recognition to our members, but the symbolism behind the red flower goes back decades. From the battlefields of World War I, weary soldiers brought home the memory of the barren landscape transformed by wild poppies. Red is the blood that was soaked in the soil, but that miracle of nature, the spirit of those lost comrades, lived on. The poppy became the symbol of the sacrifice of lives of war and represented the hope that none had died in vain. Millions of people worldwide wear the poppy as a call to honor living veterans and those who lost their lives. The custom can be traced back to 1918 when Moyna Michael publicized the idea of wearing a poppy flower in memory of the lives lost in World War I. She drew inspiration from the poem In Flanders Fields, written by World War I Colonel John McCrae in his sorrow for losing a rows of graves where his comrades recently had been buried. In the decades that followed, poppies have been worn, displayed, and distributed to the veterans. The American Legion family in 2017 brought National Poppy Day to the United States by asking Congress to designate Friday before Memorial Day as National Poppy Day, and this year that's May 24th. The story of Moyna Michael. Well-mannered and well-off, Moyna was at the tender age of 15 when she started her career as a teacher in her hometown of Good Hope, Georgia, a town that could otherwise not afford a school teacher. She continued her successful career as a teacher in Georgia when she was called overseas as World War I broke out in Europe. Although her vacation was interrupted, Moyna helped thousands of stranded Americans book safe passage back to their homeland. After America entered the war in 1917, she applied to volunteer for the YMCA Overseas War Workers, the only war effort that was open to a 40-year-old woman eager to contribute. She also gave the keepsake to each student who was deployed, her own private war effort. Moyna traveled to New York City the following year to work at the Overseas Secretary's Training Headquarters with the hope of eventually being stationed overseas. She took a leave of absence from the Georgia University in order to serve. On November 9, 1919, just before the armistice, Moyna was on duty at the annual Overseas Conference. While sitting, a little bored in a room with service members, saying goodbye to their family members and loved ones, a soldier gave Moyna a copy of that month's Ladies' Home Journal. Inside the magazine was a dog-eared page with the poem We Shall Not Sleep by Colonel John McCrae, later named In Flanders Fields. The poem was written for a fellow soldier for whom McCrae had performed a burial service. In it, the author notes the presence of blooming red poppies among rows of white crosses on the deserted battlefields of western Belgium and northern France. This was, for me, a full spiritual experience, she wrote in her memoirs. It seemed as though the silent voices again were vocal whispering in sighs of anxiety without anguish. I pledged to keep the faith and always to wear a red poppy of Flanders Fields as a sign of remembrance and an emblem for keeping the faith with all who died. On the back of an envelope, she wrote out her response to McCrae's verse, her own poem entitled, We Shall Keep the Faith. And now the torch and poppy red we wear in honor of our dead. Fear not that we have died for naught. We'll teach the lesson yet ye wrought in Flanders Fields. After jotting down her poem, she declared, I shall buy red poppies. I will always wear red poppies. Poppies from Flanders Fields. She showed We Shall Not Sleep to gentlemen in the conference and relayed her idea to them. The general was so excited about the idea, they gave her $10 and asked for poppies to wear. She rushed out to Wanamaker's department store that sold silk poppies and bought 25 to distribute to the conference attendees. This was the first group ever to ask for poppies to wear in memories of our dead soldiers, and since this group gave me the money to which to buy them, I considered them, and they were consummated. She wore a poppy on her collar until she returned home to Georgia in 1919, and she became known as the Poppy Lady. She continued her teaching career by instructing a group of disabled veterans. She noted their need, and her efforts complemented the work of Okay, so at this time, I'd like the War Memorial members to come up, and we would like to have the veterans stand that are here, and we'd like to present you with a red poppy.
All veterans.
The ones that are getting awards today.
Just the ones that were, I'm sorry.
They don't have enough copies. All the veterans get a copy.
You heard Millie speak about Flanders Fields. At the end of all of the American Legion meetings that we have, we close our meetings with Flanders Fields. In Flanders Fields, the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, the lark, still bravely singing flies. Scarce heard amid the guns below, we are the dead. Short days ago we lived, we laughed, saw sunsets glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in hallowed fields. Pick up your quarrel with the foe, to you with failing hands we throw. The torch be yours, to hold it high, if ye break faith with us who die. The flowers blow in Flanders Fields. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dennis Kosa from Alpha, New Jersey, and I went into service during the Vietnam era. I went into the Navy, and primarily because my dad was in and I wanted to continue the tradition. I was an aerographer in the Navy and did weather. I was stationed at the Naval Weather Research Center at NAS Norfolk, Virginia. I also was in Oceana, where all the carrier planes came in before the ships docked. And my last tour of duty was in Keflavik, Iceland at the NATO base up there. And I track weather satellites up there. Interesting career, made a lot of friends, and have a lot of fond memories also. My family has always supported me with everything that I did, but the camaraderie that you develop with the people that you serve is really quite warming, to be honest. I want to thank everybody for what they did for me, and it was a pleasure to serve my country.
I'm ready. Okay, ready? All right, we're going to start with William C. Ahern, Air Force, Vietnam. Charles L. Barabbas, Jr., Marine, Vietnam. Gotta wave to his crowd. William Jacob Beagle, Air Force, World War II.
Quiet right around there.
His wife Elizabeth and family are with him today. Robert Francis Bowes, deceased, Navy, Vietnam. His wife, Rosemary, is accepting his award for him. They're to be mailed, Charlie. All right, next we have Michael W. Cavella, Navy, Vietnam, with his wife, Mioka.
Thank you. Right.
Next, we have Saul Constantino, Navy, Vietnam. Robert Lyle Dunlap, Navy, Korea. Ronald Duryea, Air Force, Vietnam. All right, we'll have the next lines, the next rows. Come on around, please. All the rest of the veterans that are getting award, please come on around. Fortino? Dominic J. Fortino, Army, Vietnam. Eugene Noel Gardner, Air Force, Vietnam. Richard F. Hawken, Jr., Marines, Vietnam. Ballard Bruce Hogue, Jr., Air Force, Vietnam. With him today is his wife, Carla. No, he's on the to be mailed list. Dennis S. Cosa, Navy, Vietnam, with his daughter Valerie and his brother Wayne.
Yes.
Anthony Meilinger, Marines, Vietnam. Wayne R. Morris, Air Force, Vietnam. Victor Myers, Navy, Vietnam. No, he's getting his mail too. I just sent Solomon and Stars. Arnold J. Solomon, Army, Vietnam, with his wife Nina. F. Thomas Stars, Navy, Iraq, Arabian Peninsula, Persian Gulf, and Bosnia, with his wife and his parents are with him today. Well, I got the ones here. And then those that couldn't be with us today that are getting theirs mailed to them is Edward M. Caulfield, Navy, Vietnam. Edward M. Caulfield Jr., Army, Operation Iraqi Freedom. Michael J. Esposito, Marines, Vietnam. Vincent Crucio Jr., Navy, Afghanistan. Adam Ryan Jones, Army National Guard, Operation Iraqi Freedom. And George W. Paffendorf, Army, Vietnam.
Good morning, my name is Bruce Hogue. I served in the United States Air Force from 1972 to 1979. Left service as a captain. My primary career was a pilot. Had wonderful assignments. I was an instructor pilot at Moody Air Force Base in Georgia, flying T-38s. Euphemistically known as the White Rocket, supersonic airplane that was spectacular to fly and trained a lot of kids. From there, I was instructor at the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, and then my last assignment was I was in the Presidential Squadron at Andrews Air Force Base, flying dignitaries during the Carter administration. I'm proud of my service. The best part of the service was that I gave them 7.5 years, and they gave me a career. I got out of the service, became a corporate pilot till retirement a few years ago. It was a great relationship. I'm proud to be part of the ceremony today. I thank Warren County for having me, and God bless America.
Before we wrap it up, there's a few more people that I have to thank. Special thanks goes out to the Belvedere Boy Scout Troop 146 of White Township for always coming down to help us do the Pledge of Allegiance. It's being involved with the Boy Scouts all my life, I gotta have them here. You know? I'd like to thank Doug Freiberg. Doug, come out from behind there. Doug always does our sound system. We like it because you can all hear us, right? That's a good thing.
U.S. Navy.
Flowerland growers for giving us the flowers. They're really great every year. And as always, Norma Wenzel. You might not know who Norma is. She's the medal designer. When we first started, we had a little competition, and she's the one that came up with the design of the medal. So let's have a hand for her. Well, we didn't get rained on. I'd like everybody to join Caleb Dean as we close it out with God Bless America.
sprung that one on me.
I know you can handle it.
You got it, buddy.
Kate Smith, right? I'd rather hear him, right?
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you, Caleb. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out and spending this hour and a half or so with us. May God bless you all. Thank you. Goodbye.
Have a donut.